The next one is premiums paid on short leases are normally allowed. Such leases include leased machinery, building, and then land. They are allowed as expenses. Any premium that you pay on short leases is allowed as an expense. Then, we continue with expenses that are specifically allowed. We have damage and compensations incurred. Any damages that you incur, and then the compensations during the course of business, they are allowed as expenses that are specifically allowed. Damages and compensations incurred for purposes of trade and on actions relevant to the production of income are allowed. Examples include the compensations made to clients in selling defective items to them. In case you sell something that is faulty to the customers and then you have to compensate them, that compensation is not taxed. It is allowed as an expense. So any damages and compensations incurred is allowed as an expense. Then another expense specifically allowed is the subscription paid or payable to professional and trade associations. Any subscription that you pay to a professional and a trade association is not taxed. It is allowed as an expense on the condition that the associations are important to enable the business generate revenue. Yeah, it is deducted. Now the condition is that they must be helping the business to generate revenue, and that is all. But any subscription you pay to professional and trade associations is not taxed. Then another expense that is specifically allowed is the salaries and wages and any other remunerations paid to employees are allowable. Any salary and wages that you pay to employees is deducted or it is not taxed. Yeah. But when the remuneration were made to employees who participated, you have to note that employees who participated in the production of income or for business purposes, those employees who took part in the production of income, once you pay them, that money is not taxed, or it is supposed to be subtracted in case it was included in the gross income. Then the employer's contribution to approved retirement funds. Anything that has to do with retirement funds is not taxed. The employer's contribution to approved retirement funds are allowable as a business expense on part of the employer. Then redundancy payments and compensations made on retirement or termination of employment are allowed as a business expense. In case you compensate the employees on their retirement or termination, that is also not taxed. So the salaries, wages, and any other remuneration paid to employees who participated in the production of income is allowed as an expense. Then another expenditure or expense that is specifically allowed is mining expenditure. For mining companies. A mining company means a company carrying on mining operations in Uganda. And it is allowed a deduction for any expenditure of capital nature incurred in searching, discovering, testing, or winning access to deposits of minerals in Uganda. So any expenditure that of capital nature that is incurred by a mining company when it is searching for the deposits of minerals, when it's discovering, when it is testing or winning access, it is not taxed. So those are some of the expenses that are specifically allowed under business income. In the next video, we shall be looking at capital deductions that are also specifically allowed.